Welcome to At the Table,
where we are connecting entrepreneurs, discovering missions, and building communities with purpose, body, soul, mind, and business with
Charlie
and Heather.
with Women in Leadership.
Welcome to Mindset Monday. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather. And we love Mondays because we have chosen that this is the day that we always make our choices and decisions, deciding how we're going to move through the week, and what kind of mindset we're going to have, what kind of moms we're going to show up as, what kind of community members, how we're going to show up for ourselves. This is big today.
And not just show up for ourselves in our personal lives, but also in our work lives too, because these tools can be used across all things. And last week, we actually talked about what happens if you show up as yourself for work.
That was really awesome.
It was really awesome.
And I don't know about you, but I've really enjoyed just being myself at work in our work environment.
I think it's really awesome that we get to show up as ourselves every day. And some days it's like sweatpants and hair in a bun or something, you know.
Right? We're not wearing the bra because everything's rubbing wrong, right? Like that, and then other days we get dressed up and we're ready to roll. Like it's just who we are that day, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm just laughing because it's like, do you mind, Heather? They're not supposed to know you don't always wear bra to work.
Well, I thought it was a valid question.
Real life.
Like, seriously, why do we wear them every day? I was like, I don't know. It's so fucking uncomfortable. Like, why do we do this to ourselves?
So, a little tips for you guys. Heather's son Andy asked her, he's almost 18 and he's on the spectrum, if your bra, because she was having a problem with her bra and things like that, and if your bra's so uncomfortable, how come you wear it? And she's like, good question. Why do we wear these things?
Right.
If it's causing us torture.
And I have, let's see, how do I not own it? Like, my body has issues of its own, and part of those issues is sometimes my skin is extra sensitive to anything that has like a band, right?
Right.
And so it's that, especially that end of the day, like, okay, I have endured this thing literally as long as I can handle, and I just peel it off of me. Like now, like.
And that's part of like loving yourself, right?
Right. So just
and
exploring that.
I like that you said, okay, now let me not embody this right now.
Right, because I don't want to live in that story of
Mm-hmm.
victimness, right? Like my body has changed and grown so strong since I have changed how I talk about it. So that's a whole podcast in and of itself.
Right.
But perfect to the books we're reading, The Mastery of Love, Don Miguel Ruiz, and Career Self-Care by Minda Zetlin.
Oh, yes.
I just got goosebumps. I'm so excited to be here today.
Really awesome, amazing books. This week we're on chapter 4 in both books, and
we're gonna start with the Mastery of Love this week because we feel like this week this is heavy, and then this tells you how to handle it. Right. So one is really heavy, and the other one kind of tells you how you're gonna work through that. I love how they matched up this week. It's perfect.
And if you want to go back and listen to me read the whole chapters, that was posted on Sunday. So
yesterday.
Yeah, you can go back and look at it. Chapter 4 is the track of love versus the track of fear. Right? It's like choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Right?
And understanding that you have two responses.
Yes.
So like black and white. One response is to come from love. And one response comes from fear.
Yes.
So, and that's the emotional trigger, right? So our emotional triggers, like with our PTSD, comes from a place of fear and protection, and we have to keep you safe, right? So anything that's coming from that energy is actually coming from the fear.
Yes.
So when we take a breath and we come from the love,
it's a totally different reaction that we get. And I have actually been practicing this for a while, is instead of reacting because of fear, It's like noticing that I'm getting overwhelmed or
and finding that beginning
triggered.
spot, right?
Right. That takes work, is to
Ooh.
find that beginning spot. So I've gotten tuned into that beginning spot, and then I ask myself with curiosity, not judgment, where is this coming from? Like this morning, I woke up with anxiety at like 4 a.m. Why am I anxious right now? Okay, because I feel like we have a lot of things to do at work, and the reality is we're good. Our schedule's good, things like that. It is on a trajectory, but we're good right now where we're at. We have time in our schedule to be flexible and things like that. And in my my own self-judgment, if I heard the voice, my saboteur in my head, my anxiety saboteur in my head being like, if you don't do it now, it'll never get done.
If you don't do it, who else is going to do it?
Who else is going to do it?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I saw that on a TikTok yesterday. I was like, oh, honey. I wanted to like reach through and give her a hug. I was just like, oh, you get to change that.
Right.
Right. You get to have a different, and by taking that moment and respecting yourself, respecting what you've gone through, that's compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from the place of love.
Yes.
So
and
compassion feels a lot different than the reaction, the fear, the guilt, the shame.
I really like what he said in this chapter about love versus fear, and exactly what you said about love doesn't come from a place of obligation.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from but fear is full of obligations.
Right.
We fear a negative reaction because of an action that we might make.
And sometimes we fear that negative reaction because we've been conditioned in society to expect a negative reaction.
Yes.
So you come in already bulldozed.
Yeah. And that's part of society's dream, which does not have to be your dream, because society's dream is about power and control, and they want to keep you in your place with power and control, right? If there's someone new, and they come from a place of fear, because if they are afraid of what might happen if somebody were better than them, smarter than them, more powerful than them, had more money than them. It's all fear-based.
And because it's scary to look inside.
It is scary to look inside.
And to do the hard work, to show up in the mess, the tears, the realization that I too can have PTSD, right? Like all of these things they're scary, right? Like it doesn't disrespect you for me to have PTSD.
No.
And that was hard for my brain to process at first. I was like, no, that's not my right. Like I don't have a right to have PTSD.
You have a right to your feelings and emotions and how you handle them. You have the right to decide what that looks like for yourself.
Yes, and having that, and I love how they go deeper into this, and how every relationship, okay, back up a second, take a breath. I'm excited, it's going to be good. We each have a different dream.
Yes.
Each person in a relationship has a different dream. No matter if you're the parent and child, a husband and wife, friends, businesses, we all have a different dream and way we perceive the world around us.
Based on our own personal experiences and what we learned about society.
One of us are living a different dream.
Yeah.
Like that's powerful.
And each relationship is different through this dream because you connect with people on different levels, right? So I have my own dream. Heather has her own dream. We connect based on those dreams, but we connect differently than we do with anybody else we ever interact with. And Heather connects with everybody else she interacts with differently than I do. And that's part of how those dreams intersect when cultivating a relationship. It's really cool stuff.
It is really cool stuff. And so, and if we're finding ourselves realizing that we are in control of our own dream, so I have control of my dream, and I'm sitting with Charlie's dream in front of me, and I don't understand it, I can come from compassion and love and respect, because I love and respect her. And when I come from respect, then I'm curious, right? Then I can let her explain her dream to me instead of reacting to her dream.
Yeah. And I love what he said here about respect. And I'm trying to find it here. So it says, if we are in a war of control, it is because we have no respect. The truth is that we don't love. It is selfishness not to love. It is just to have the little doses that make us feel good. When we have no respect, there's a war of control because each person feels responsible for the other. I have to control you because I don't respect you. I have to be responsible for you because whatever happens to you is going to hurt me, and I want to avoid pain. I'm going to knock you all the time to try to make you be responsible, but responsible from my personal point of view. It doesn't mean I'm right.
I like the very last line. I think we're on the same page. No, we're on a different page. We don't have the right to change anyone else.
We don't have the right to change it.
And no one else has the right to change us. We don't have the right to change anyone else. So sometimes that's in a relationship. You're like, oh, I'll just get them to change that. No, that's not okay.
It's up to them if they decide to change.
Right. And then they don't have the right to ask us to change either.
But you have the right to communicate with them how their actions or their dream makes you feel in your dream.
Yes. And so I think that where that disconnect is that there can be pain associated with that. Like, what you're doing is really not okay. And it's okay that it's not okay. And being okay with that means that maybe we aren't together. And that's hard. And we get that.
And I can be scary,
and
which brings back fear, right? So where are we coming from when we're always coming from a place of love?
So, and on that, if you don't make those changes that align with you, you are choosing to stay unhappy.
Yeah, that's the bomb right there.
So either way, no matter what the decision is, whether you choose to not make a decision or you decide to make some changes, you're still in control of that.
Yep. You have control over you. You don't have power and control over other people.
This really hit home for me as why my first marriage ended. Because I knew I didn't have a right. I never went into loving someone thinking that it was my right to change them. And I knew that I couldn't love myself if I stayed in that relationship. So I had to choose me because I knew I didn't have the right to change.
Right. And that's one of the hard truths that he touches on here is that loving has to be of yourself too, not just everything else outside of you.
It comes from here. The love, the
love and
happiness
comes
comes from the love you have from within. I was like, ooh, that's
good
good. Because that's exactly what we want to have control over, right? And that's something you can cultivate for yourself. So when you have more love from within, you have more happiness.
Yeah. And here's exactly what he says right here. If you are aware that no one else can make you happy and that happiness is the result of love coming out of you, this becomes the greatest mastery of the Codex, the mastery of love. When you know this and you understand this and you understand how it works, because love works. If you are always stepping out in the world in the direction of truth and love, game changer.
Game changer, right? All right, let's move into career self-care. Thank you, Minda. This is a fabulous book. I hope you guys are picking up your copy and supporting her. She's fabulous.
And she's also a local author to us.
She talks about
Pretty
our local
awesome.
town I grew up in. I was like, that's so rad.
It is very rad.
I always like that. And she's very heartful in this book. And, you know, it's coming from
It's very true. Like, you can tell that this is like true for her. Right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wonderful writer. In case you haven't listened to Charlie read it, I think you should do that. But
she talks about the power of journaling. Journaling is kind of a new thing that I'm trying. And I like some of the ideas that she talks about in here that I would like to.
I think it's really cool because I love when we went through the 52 changes for the mind, studying the history of journaling. Like in the 80s, they brought it into like therapy. In the 90s, they brought it into classrooms. You know, and they're trying to show people, hey, there's a reason why we used to write shit down, right? So, and that's what she's talking about here. And this, like, it's important. So as you are processing fear and love, and which way did you react? Which one are you choosing? This is a perfect tool to practice with.
Yeah, it's a perfect tool to practice reflecting on, are you coming from a place of love or fear?
Yeah.
A few ways that Minda likes to use a journal is to set intentions and goals, to make specific plans to track her progress toward her goals, to create a record that she can refer to in the future, to give herself free rein to privately express her thoughts and feelings, fears and joys, so that afterward she can have her full focus to what's most important. And finally, she likes to use it to acknowledge her own accomplishments, because for her, and perhaps for us too, it's much too easy to forget about them. Acknowledging your accomplishments. And one of the really cool things that she does with her journal is the index pages.
I was like,
thought
what?
That was rad. Okay, so we tend to journal and we date it and things like that, but anybody ever remember what date something happened or occurred? No, never, right? You always forget something. When was that? So she will actually make an index page with I think she puts the date and then what pages they're on, and it might be by month or by day. It depends on how many notes or whatever she's got on there.
And then she even will be like, here's a specific event that I want to make sure I know what page is on.
And sometimes
like, that's cool, because mine are just a chaotic mess,
right?
Like, you can't even read my journal. No. Like, you're like,
no. Like her notes that are all over the place. I can't interpret those. So it's like, go put your notes on the computer.
Between the doodles and the actual notes.
And like, what was your thought here? Yeah. Nope. So I thought the index was super cool idea in order to track things. And then there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. You can even add like a little sentence or so note to tell you what was in there. A synopsis, a brief paragraph.
I think I love it because it's very intentional. And I think that that's what my journaling has lacked, is the intentional. Like, I've just used it to just bleh. And sometimes we didn't, And then I get like sick of it because I'm like, I'm just saying the same things. Like, no.
But how many times do you have to say the same things over and over and over again until you finally get it?
I think what for me was if I could say SSDD, same shit, different day, then I wasn't making choices towards the future. And that's
that
what
frustrated you. And
that
you didn't want to
frustrated me. Because sometimes, and when you're in the muck of making big life changes, it is an SSDD. Like you may be making those little 1% makes a big difference in the long run. But that first 1%, and then the next 1%, and then those are hard percents.
Right. Which brings us to this next section here that she talks about is future tasks. We all have these ambitions to do these like projects and things like that. Make a list of future tasks, notes about that task, brainstorm about that task, whatever that looks like for you. But, having future tasks written down makes it more tangible and more real, right? Once you write something down, then it's real.
Right.
Yeah.
And it helps you cultivate the life you want that incorporates those things that are real.
Yeah.
So what is the gap there that you need to become? What person do you need to become? Ooh, I like this one. What person do you need to become to be that person that does those things? Because you can be that person today.
You are that person.
Right.
Already.
Right
now. I love this idea. She's an avid reader. And anybody ever forget what books they've read or okay, so she
all the time.
she tracks the books she's read so that and then makes like a little paragraph or something about them so she can recommend books to other people based on what they like and things like that, but also so that she can remember if she's read it and what she thought about it.
Right, because she's moved on.
Yep.
Wow. I love that, and that makes sense why her book is so written the way it is, because she is an avid reader. Right. That reflects.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The next section she talks about is the coming month. She said this step is optional, but at the start of the month, number the lines of one or two pages for each day of the month from 1 to 30 or 31. Okay, and she talks about the bullet journaling method. And what she does,
those videos.
What she does is she puts the things on her calendar that she wants to do every day, and it's like she makes almost a little check mark, like I did this. This is the task I completed today. Something that you're, if you've got like a specific plan for that day, like for me right now on my calendar it's like my cousin's wedding, and that's going to take up most of your day, then you can actually block it out there so that you can focus on that major task for the day, or maybe it's a doctor's appointment or whatever.
It really gives you a good overview of what to expect too, because anyone with any sort of chronic something illness or disease, any chronic disease in our bodies, we know that we have to pace and plan. So if you have an idea of what's coming up, then you can make sure that you take the time, the self-care, like what self-care do I need around this event?
Yeah.
Because to me, if you don't look at that, then you're reacting to life instead of taking control of your life.
I learned for my personal self-care needs, I need about 2 days after travel to like wrap my head around life again, right?
We were wandering around in a kind of a fog
for a couple days.
Yes.
And then she also takes a couple pages to write out the plan for the next couple of weeks, because you have your month plan, which is just like a short little synopsis of what's going on that month, but then you can get more detailed in those next couple of pages when you look at the next week or two and actually plan out your things. And when you plan out your things, here's a healthy reminder to schedule your self-care.
I was gonna say one of my favorite things to do is on Sunday look at my weekly schedule And we a lot of times put it on our board so like we can see it clearly. But in that, for myself, taking it one step further and putting in the self-care tasks, right? Like reminding myself to do the things. So that's something you can do for yourself. And I kind of like have a little habit around Sundays, sitting down with the calendar and, you know, just being ready for the week. And that sets me up for the best week.
And either on Sunday or on Monday morning, I'll write our schedule for work on the whiteboard over here so that it's a quick visual reference, because we don't always have our Google Calendar up and things like that. It's like, what are we doing this week? Can we squeeze somebody in real quick?
Because
like,
if I click on the calendar and go look or pick up my phone, I am distracted by 5 things trying to get to the schedule.
Right. And then
so I love the writing it on the board.
And then when we're done with the task, we can go and erase it. It's so nice.
It's very satisfying.
It is very satisfying.
And we just move through the week, and then when we're done, everything's erased, and then it's ready for the next week.
It is.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even realize
Which
that was happening.
Brings us to the next section she does is daily tasks, right? All those, you know, having a checklist of daily tasks, also very satisfying. You can cross them off or check mark them if you've done them, or cross them off, you know, however you want to organize it.
And it's a good opportunity to track your thoughts. Like, is there a particular thought you keep having? Like, are you saying to yourself, I can't do this? This is too much. Who do you think you are? Like, what are you telling yourself so that you can notice it? Because you may not notice it the first few times. Well, you've been saying it to yourself for a long time. You don't even notice that you're saying it. Right. So when you acknowledge it for a few times, then you'd be like, how do I change that now? How do I make myself 1% better at talking to myself?
Right, and it might be as simple as writing down all your thoughts and things, and then go back and read them out loud to yourself. How do they sound? And how does that make you feel?
Right. I feel like we need a quick refresh on that one. So if you put your hand on your heart and you tell yourself your name is not your name, and then you tell yourself your name, feel how it resonates in your body. So if I say my name is John, it's weird. Okay, I say my name is Heather, it resonates different because one is true and one is not. So that's like the beginning of that awareness piece.
It feels different.
So that was just a little refresher on that.
Right.
We've talked about it before.
And when we're working in the direction of truth and love, you can always figure out if it's fear or love that you're working with in very much the same way. How does this make me feel? Does this make me feel gross? Sad? You know?
Do I want to shut down?
Do I want to shut down? How does that make me feel? If it's a negative feeling, probably not truth and love. Just saying. And
then we know what we can do with fear.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a card for that in the Rebel deck.
Really fun deck. It has lots of attitude. We experienced this deck on a retreat that we were on. So it's called the Rebel deck, the Oracle with Attitude. 0 filters, 0 fucks, all the fun. And so on the back of the box it says the Rebel first one is detox. Drink a smoothie, unfriend
the Marysville
asshole,
Police Foundation is a 501c3 organization to support these areas of the Marysville Police Department, law enforcement, officer wellness,
back to the
and
main
community
subject.
outreach programs and activities.
Hippopotamus.
We look forward to serving you.
Everything else you want to put in your journal, it's great. Or she makes notes for meetings and conferences with potential clients, a coaching session. You know, literally everything she does,
I like the idea of having the index and having one journal. Like you could have it in one spot instead of like, this is my feelings journal, this is my work journal, this is, if you have an index, then you can find the things you need to find. Again, with that, that's cool.
She had some really great ideas in this book. I love that one because, yeah, I can start one journal, and guess what? When it's all full, I just put a sticker or something on it that labels it for, from January 2023 to February of 2024, whatever. And then I can go back and reference it really easy instead of this book and then this one. And then I think I have more in here. Yes, absolutely. I have more in here.
Actually, you do. She just pulled 2 out from under her computer and 2 out from the drawer next to her.
Yeah.
Yes, as a matter of fact, that is a problem. So I think that it's nice that there are some solutions to that problem of journaling.
Right. You can journal everything in one spot, which was a game changer for me when I was like, what? I don't need my work journal and my self journal and all that. I can put it all in one spot because often my little squirrel brain is all over the place. And I'm like, I need this for the kids and I need this for work and I need this for me. Oh, by the way, I need to schedule stuff. And it just keeps going. But if I can write it all down in one spot, fabulous.
That's pretty cool.
It is rad.
That is pretty cool. So I love that exercises are here. Charlie reads this in completion. Whether you're going to experiment, whether you're going to try a 1-sentence journal, or whether you're going to ignore all of these instructions and just do your own dang thing, give it a try.
Try something.
Just give it a try. It's about opening yourself up to yourself.
Pretty cool. I can't wait to watch some bullet journaling YouTube videos and from YouTube University. If you guys would like to follow along with the weekly reading, don't forget to like and subscribe and all the things. And we will see you on the flip side. And coming up next is
Cause of the Quarter. So take a good listen to that and please enjoy. And we'll talk to you soon.
Namaste.
Mwah!
We take the mystery and pain out of social media consistency for your business, giving you back time to shine in your zone of genius. Social media is the new branding. It deserves its own attention, thought, and effort. Yet so few businesses actually take this seriously and invest enough time on their strategy. We can do it for you at an affordable rate that will fit into your budget and allow you to pursue other revenue channels as well. The hardest part of social media management is keeping up the consistency to be seen and know what to post, when to post. Are you ready to have everything ready to go for you, saving you time and energy by not having to do it all yourself? Still getting your message out so that people get to know you, like you, and develop trust while opening yourself up to more time for the business of your business where you shine. Working with Women in Leadership, BSMB LLP, is a unique experience that bridges the gap from face-to-face to virtual relationship marketing. Not only do we love to help you shine on social media, we love to share tools to help you grow with us, body, soul, mind, and business. Check out our podcast and YouTube channel for Mindset Mondays, Social Media Training Wednesdays, business interviews and special topics on Fridays, and weekly readings on Sundays. To schedule your consultation or podcast interview, head to our website, www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com. Our weekly readings on Sunday, our podcast, Mindset Monday, social media training with Heather on Wednesdays, guest interviews and special topics on Fridays. Thank you for joining us. Find out more and schedule with us online at www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com, where you have a spot at the table. Thank you for joining in on the fun. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.